So here's the deal. Trading is finally coming to the first Descendant, and it's been one of the most requested features since the game launched. For a long time, players have been asking for a way to swap modules or gear they don't need, especially since farming duplicates can be a pain. The developers have now confirmed that in Season 3, Episode 2, a new one-on-one trading system will be introduced. It's not going to be a massive open marketplace at first, but it's a solid start toward building a player-driven economy. At launch, trading will be limited to something called trigger modules, basically one of the module types you can equip to enhance your Descendant's abilities or stats. Think of them like mods in Warframe, but with a tighter restriction. Later down the line, the devs plan to expand trading to include ancestor modules, which are a higher tier version with stronger bonuses. That means at first, the system won't let you trade weapons or other major gear items, but it does set the foundation for that possibility later. Now, originally, there was a bit of controversy around this. When Nexon first talked about trading, they mentioned that it would require using Caliber, the game's premium currency, to pay a 10% trading fee. That immediately rubbed players the wrong way, because it looked like a subtle way to make money off trades between players. After the backlash, the devs responded pretty fast. They changed the trading fee to use gold, which is an in-game currency instead of a premium one. That small change made a big difference, showing that they were willing to listen to the community instead of pushing monetization too hard. The trading process itself sounds simple. It's one-on-one, so you'll be directly trading with another player, not posting items in a public market or auction house. You can exchange trigger modules, and each trade will have a small gold fee attached. This keeps the system safer and easier to monitor while they test how players use it. The devs also mentioned they'll keep an eye out for botting, real money trading, RMT, and any form of market manipulation that could break the economy early on. So while it's limited, it's also a smart way to roll it out without letting things spiral out of control. For most players, this is a pretty exciting change. A lot of people have trigger modules they don't use or duplicates that could be valuable to someone else. Being able to trade them directly means you can finally turn your extras into something useful instead of letting them gather dust in your inventory. And if you're someone who grinds a lot, this opens a small but interesting way to earn value from your time, even if you're not spending real money. It also encourages more social interaction between players, since you'll actually need to talk and negotiate trades instead of just farming solo endlessly. Of course, this is just the beginning. The devs already said they plan to expand the system to include ancestor modules and maybe eventually other gear types once they see how stable it is. So while it's not the full trading market some people might have hoped for, it's still a big step in the right direction. It shows that Nexon is paying attention to what players want, and they're starting to make systems that feel more rewarding and less grindy. If they handle it carefully, this trading feature could become one of the best long-term additions to the first Descendant. Honestly, adding trading to the first Descendant is one of the smartest moves Nexon has made so far. It's something the community has been asking for since the early beta days, and for good reason. When you have a looter shooter built around farming materials, upgrading gear, and chasing rare drops, players eventually want a way to exchange value with each other. Trading makes the grind more social and gives meaning to all those duplicates sitting in your inventory. The fact that Nexon is finally giving players that option shows they're listening, and that kind of move always builds long-term trust in a live service game. The benefits of this system could go way beyond just swapping items. Trading helps keep the community active because now there's an incentive to farm even if you already have the best stuff. You could grind for rare modules, trade them for something you actually need, or even use that to earn Caliber through smart deals. Once that happens, players suddenly have more ways to progress. It's not just about grinding missions anymore, it's about working the market, making connections, and feeling like your effort can lead to something valuable. And when people see that it's possible to get what they want faster, or at least more efficiently, that keeps them playing longer. the player count could also rise because of this. Accessibility is a huge factor in keeping people invested, and when the grind feels more manageable thanks to trading, it lowers the barrier for new and returning players. Someone who got frustrated before because crafting a Descendant took too long might come back once they realize they can trade for some of those materials. The system also adds a bit of excitement to farming. Knowing that what you're grinding could actually help another player or net you caliber to unlock cosmetics or speed up crafting makes the loop a lot more rewarding. That said, it's fair to admit the system still feels a little limited. Since the current version only supports trigger modules and later ancestor modules, it doesn't really touch the parts of the game that people spend the most time grinding for, like weapons or specific materials. So while trading technically makes life easier, it's still not the open economy people might have been hoping for. On top of that, even if you could earn caliber from trading, many players might just prefer farming modules themselves instead of spending currency. It saves gold, and honestly, most modules aren't that hard to get with enough time. So this system might appeal more to collectors and time savers than the average grinder. Still, there's a bigger picture here. Even limited trading can change how a game feels, because it introduces social value. The idea of being able to trade items you've earned instead of just selling them to an NPC or dismantling them gives players a sense of agency. It's also a great testing ground for Nexon to figure out how the in-game economy should evolve. If they see strong engagement, they can safely expand it to more items later. And who knows, maybe they'll eventually allow more direct player-to-player trading for weapons and rare components once they see the system is stable. And if we're being real, this reminds me a lot of what Warframe did years ago. That game was struggling before trading was introduced, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions Digital Extremes ever made. But here's the thing. The trading system that was introduced by Warframe was way giving compared to what we will see in the first Descendant. When Warframe first introduced trading back in December 2013 with Update 11.5, known as the Cicero Crisis, the system was simple but game-changing. It gave players the ability to exchange rare items directly for the first time, though the list of tradable things was quite limited compared to what exists today. At launch, players could only trade mods, prime parts, void keys, and platinum. These were considered the core valuable items at the time, especially since endgame farming mostly revolved around the old Orokin void missions. Mods were one of the first items to be traded, letting players exchange powerful upgrades like Serration, Hornet Strike, and Streamline. However, not every mod could be traded. Beginner and event-exclusive mods were account-locked and stayed untradeable. Alongside mods, Prime blueprints and parts became the heart of the trading scene. Players could farm the Void for Frost Prime systems, Latron Prime barrels, or Paris Prime strings, and trade them away for platinum or other parts. Fully built Prime weapons or warframes couldn't be traded, only the blueprints and components were allowed. Keys were also tradable back then, including Orokin Void keys and Derelict keys, which were used to access special missions. This feature eventually disappeared when Digital Extremes replaced keys with relics in 2016. So, when trading first arrived in Warframe, it was a small but powerful feature centered on mods, prime parts, keys, and platinum. Everything else came much later. Rivens, arcanes, relics, and more, each expanding the economy little by little as Warframe grew into the massive game we know today. Now, I don't want to be negative with the trading system of the first Descendant, because probably they will expand the system in the future, just like what Warframe did to their game. Eventually, we will be able to trade important stuff, such as Descendant materials in the future. But for now, I really think that Nexon really need this, and I'm glad that they finally introduced trading in the first Descendant.